Euphoria is not just a story about drugs, it is a story about teenagers who are drowning and still pretending they know how to swim. Every character in this story is trying to survive something: love, grief, control, identity, validation. And they all fail. Not because they are weak, but because they were never equipped. This is everything that happened and why it broke every single one of them. Three things to understand before entering this world. First, Rue is the center. She is an addict, she is grieving her father, and she is an unreliable narrator. That means the story is filtered through someone who is not always telling the truth. Second, season 1 is the setup. Relationships begin, secrets are planted, the damage quietly starts. Third, season 2 is the fallout. Everything buried in season 1 explodes. Betrayal surface, addiction gets worse, the truth finally comes out. Keep these three things in mind. Now let's map who everyone is and why this story is chaos. We have 7 people and 7 different ways of falling apart. Rue Bennett, she came from rehab, but she never really left the addiction. Her father died. That grief never healed. It just went through underground. Rue uses drugs, not to feel good, but to feel nothing, because feeling nothing is easier than feeling what she actually carries. Jules won. Jules isn't new to town. She's running from something too. She's searching for an identity that feels real, not one that was forced on her. Jules becomes Rue's emotional anchor, but anchors can only hold so long before they break under the weight. Then we have Nate Jacobs. Nate is the most dangerous person in this story, not because of what he does with his hands, because of what he does with power. He controls people, he uses fear, he is driven by something buried deep, a secret about his own father he cannot accept, and himself that makes him more dangerous, not less. Then we have Maddy Perez. Maddy loves Nate dangerously. Their relationship is a toxic passion, beautiful on the surface, violent underneath. But Maddy also has fire. She sees things clearly, even when she pretends she doesn't. Then we have Cassie Howard. Cassie wants to be loved. That is her entire story. Every decision she makes comes from one wound: the need for someone to choose her. That desperation will cost her everything. Then we have Lexi Howard. Lexi watches, she is the quiet one. She sees what everyone else refuses to see. And eventually, she turns those observations into something powerful. Then we have Fezco. Fez is a drug dealer, but also the most emotionally honest person in this show. He genuinely cares about Rue. He tries to protect her. He lives in a world where there are no clean exits. This is the map. Now, how the chaos begins. Season 1 begins with Rue leaving rehab. She is 17 and she has already decided she is going to use again. She tells the audience this herself. Her father is dead. That grief is still open. Rehab did not close it. It just paused the bleeding. This is important. Rue is not relapsing because she is careless. She is relapsing because she never dealt with the original wound. The addiction is a symptom, the grief is the disease. Then Jules arrives in town, and something shifts for Rue. They connect immediately. Rue, who has no real reason to stay sober, suddenly finds one. Not therapy, not family, Jules. Jules becomes Rue's emotional sobriety. When Rue is around Jules, she does not need the drugs. She needs Jules. That is beautiful. And that is also a problem, because Rue's recovery is not internal. It is attached to another person. And people leave. While Rue and Jules are building something, Nate is doing what Nate does. His father, Cal Jacobs, has a secret. He has an encounters with young men, including Jules, and he filmed them. Nate discovers this, and instead of dealing with his own confusion, he projects it outward. He catfishes Jules online, posing as a man she falls for emotionally. He uses this to control her, to keep her quiet, to protect his father's secret and his own. At the same time, he controls Maddy through emotional manipulation. Their relationship cycles through passion and cruelty. The key thing to understand: Nate does not act out of hatred, he acts out of fear. Fear of what he might be, and that makes him more dangerous, not less. Cassie falls for McKay, but McKay is fighting his own battles: identity, masculinity, pressure. The relationship quietly falls apart. Kat discovers that internet gives her something school never did: power. She builds a person online. Borrowed confidence, not real, but it fills the space where real confidence should be. Fez watches Rue. He sees what is happening. He cuts her off from drugs at one point because he actually cares. That one moment says everything about who Fez is. By now, everyone is lying to everyone. Season 1 ends at train station. Jules is leaving. She has decided to go to the city. She asks Rue to come with her. Rue wants to go. Part of her genuinely wants to leave everything behind, but she cannot get on that train. She watches Jules leave. She stands there, then she uses. That one decision, staying, changes everything. Not just for Rue, for everyone. Season 2 begins with one idea. Everyone is pretending season 1 didn't break them. New Year's Eve, a party at Fez's place. Rue is already using. That is not a surprise. What is a surprise? Cassie and Nate. It begins here. One night, one decision, and from this point on, the entire group starts fracturing from the inside. Fez also makes a move that night. He has watched what Nate does to people he cares about for too long. He physically attacks Nate. No strategy, no plan, just enough. Nate is now managing two realities. Maddy still believes they have a future. Cassie is falling deeper in, and Jules is starting to sense that Rue is not sober. Elliot enters. He is a new character. He uses with Rue. He also gets close to Jules. This is important. Elliot is not a villain, but his presence accelerates everything. Rue has someone to use with. Jules has someone who listens. The distance between Rue and Jules quietly grows. Cal Jacobs begins to unravel. The secret he has carried for years starts surfacing. He leaves his family. That departure reshapes Nate, and not in a healing way. Rue agrees to transport a suitcase of drugs for Laurie, a supplier. This is not a recreational use anymore. Rue is now operating inside a criminal system with the real consequences attached. She uses the drug money, but she does not deliver the supply. That means she now owes Laurie, and Laurie is not someone who forgets a debt. By now, Cassie is completely consumed by Nate. She changes how she looks. She becomes what she thinks he wants. She hides everything from Maddy, her best friend. Cassie isn't just betraying Maddy. She's choosing the one thing she has always chased: male validation, over the one person she should have protected. Maddy does not know yet, but the weight of the secret is already visible. Cassie is disappearing inside a role she created for someone who will never fully choose her. Rue's mother and Jules stage an intervention. The drugs come out, the lies come out, and Rue explodes. She does not collapse quietly. She attacks, verbally, emotionally. She exposes Cassie and Nate in front of the room. She says things that cannot be unsaid. Then she runs. What follows is one of the most brutal sequences in the show. Rue, in full withdrawal, ends up in the care of Laurie. Laurie gives her a morphine, calm, cold, and makes it clear the debt is not forgotten. Rue escapes physically, but the sequence leaves a mark that does not go away. Lexi has been watching for 2 full seasons. Now she writes a play based on real people, based on real events. Every character in that school watches a version of themselves performed on stage. Nate sees himself humiliated. Cassie watches her own story told out loud in front of everyone she knows. Cassie breaks publicly, in the middle of the theater. It is the moment the last wall comes down. Fez has been under pressure for a long time. A man named Custer is connected to law enforcement. The walls are closing in. The night everything breaks, police raid Fez's home. Ashtray, Fez's younger brother, the one person Fez has always protected, decides to fight back. He locks himself in bathroom. He fires at the police. Ashtray dies. Fez is taken into custody. He never made it to Lexi's play. He never got the moment he was supposed to have. This is exactly how the show works. The people who deserved better pay the most. Now, before starting the season 3, we need to understand where everyone stands now. So Rue has survived. She is sober for now, but survival is not the same as healing. The Laurie debt still exists. The grief of her father is still there. Whether sobriety holds going into season 3 is the real question. Jules, the relationship with Rue is broken. She and Elliot grew closer. She has lost the version of herself that existed as Rue's anchor. What she becomes without that role is the question season 3 must answer. Nate. He gave Maddy the tape his father recorded, a move that looked like guilt, But with Nate, nothing is without calculation. He's free of Cassie, free of Maddy. Where he goes from here is the most dangerous unknown in the story. Cassie, she lost Nate, she lost Maddy, she lost herself. Season 3 begins with someone who has nothing left to protect, that can go in any direction. Maddy, she has the tape, she has her clarity. Of all the characters, Maddy comes out of season 2 with the most self awareness. Whether she uses it is another question entirely. Lexi, she said what no one else dared to say. She turned the 2 seasons of silence into the truth. Her relationship with Fez was real, and Fez is gone. Fez, he is in custody, Ashtray is dead, everything he built his life around protecting is gone. Euphoria is not a story about drug addiction. It is a story about what happens when people are given no language for their pain, so they turn whatever numbs it fastest. Every character in the story made choices that destroyed them, but none of those choices came from nowhere. They came from grief, from fear, from the desperate need to feel something or nothing. In a world that offered no softer way through, Season 3 does not owe these characters redemption, it owes them honesty, and that is the only thing the show has ever truly been about.